You're watching The Ugly Inside? Subscribe below.
Welcome back to TUI Transfer Talk. It's been somewhat of a quiet week in terms of transfers coming in and out of St Mary's, but the last couple of days the rumours have ramped up. So joining me once again to give us a lowdown on all the transfers coming in and out of the club, I'm joined once again by Luke from Southampton.com. So welcome back, mate. Nice to see you.
And you.
Let's get straight into it then, mate. The first name on the list, Alex McCarthy of Crystal Palace, the goalkeeper. It's been reported by Sky Sports that the goalie is on his way down to Southampton to act as backup for Fraser Forster. So what do we know about the transfer, mate?
Well, it's reported that the fee's going to be in and around the 2 million mark, which would be a really, really good price for a backup keeper with plenty of Premier League experience. I mean, I know he went down with QPR and Reading during his time there, but he has got the credentials and he's got the goalkeeping experience that we need to have as an understudy to Forster. I mean, I like Gazzaniga, but you did feel a little bit wary of what he could come out with because he could be a little bit of a liability. But with McCarthy at a low price for a keeper who's happy to sit on the bench, I think it's a really good bit of business.
I mean, we spoke about Randolph of the Irish team and West Ham in a couple of videos ago. Whether or not he was prepared to sit on West Ham's bench to go to Southampton's bench. Do you think the episode is more or less the same for Alex McCarthy? He's somewhat been pushed out by Palace because they brought in a brand new keeper, Mandanda, for the second in command for the French goalkeeping gloves for the national team. And on the books, they've got currently 4 goalkeepers, so they're spoiled for choice. So, happy move for him, do you think?
I think it is because, I mean, he played 7 times last season and that's just not enough. I think even if he is a backup with us, he will get more than that because people forget that, we have got so many games this season, potentially, and we've got 3 extra competitions for him aside from the Premier League. But what we need to remember also is that McCarthy was pushed so far down the pecking order at Palace behind Hennessy and Speroni, and now Mandanda's come in. He's effectively going from 4th choice at Crystal Palace to 2nd choice at a club like Southampton. That is a massive step up for him, and it's a good move for all parties.
Now, it sort of asked the question for me anyway. Like you said, we've got 3 competitions this season. 4 if you include let's go through it. 4 including Premier League. So Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League. There's a bit of a stigma around the Europa League. Managers sometimes play their rotation squad. Do you think it's likely that we'll see him play a lot of games in the Europa League, or would it be a case of him only coming in when Forster is injured?
Well, let's hope Forster doesn't get another injury first. I think a lot of it will depend on the opponent. I mean, we get the Europa League draw next month, and I think a lot of it's going to depend on how the fixtures pan out around the game. So, for example, let's say we have Inter Milan in the Europa League on a Thursday, we're going to want our full side. We're going to want Forster in goal. Say on the Saturday, for example, we've got Burnley at home, you could expect McCarthy to come in. So I think a lot of it's going to depend on the opponent that we're against.
Like I said, £2 million. It's been rumoured also £3.5 million. But let us know in the comments below if you think it's a good price for the goalkeeper. So let's move on to the next name then. Sticking with the goalkeeping theme, Paulo Gazzaniga has been rumoured that he's about to go on loan to Spanish team Rayo Vallecano. Is it a good move for the young keeper?
I think it is a good move because, I mean, in all honesty, I think we've held him back a little bit. As I said, I don't feel safe with him in goal at the moment, but at the end of the day, he's only going to get better by playing games consistently, getting to grips with it again, and he's just not going to do that here. So I moved to the Segunda Division in La Liga, because Rayo Vallecano got relegated last season, but it's going to give him another good platform to work on, and it's going to give him some consistent playing time, and that's exactly what he needs to get confidence back up again.
Do you think the standard in the 2nd Division in Spain is as high as perhaps the 2nd Division over here in England?
Probably not, but I think maybe it might suit Gazzaniga a bit better. Maybe the climate will suit him better. There's going to be a lot less pressure on him, I think that's going to be the main thing. I think a lot of what he struggles with is pressure, because you notice a lot in the under-21s, he looks very, very sharp. When he's come into the team, disregarding the Palace away game, he's not really looked too comfortable, and the players ahead of him don't look comfortable. And the main thing for a keeper is to have a good back 4 in front of you, but they've got to trust you. And I didn't really get that sort of feeling with Gazzaniga, and I hope he does well with Vallecano, because he sitting on the sidelines, it can't be nice for him.
It begs the question for me, really. If you were Claude Puel, would you have been perhaps content on allowing Gazzaniga to act as backup, or would you rather have someone slightly more qualified in, McCarthy, for example, to act as reserve?
In all honesty, I'm glad we brought in a backup goalkeeper, because it's not as though I don't like Gazzaniga, and I do think he's got talent, but he just needs to learn more. He needs to, get another platform, work from that. So, and I think McCarthy's going to be a great signing for us, because he's going to provide a sufficient, reliable, safe pair of hands as backup. And you just wonder whether Gazzaniga could have done that for us.
You're absolutely right. I think Gazzaniga absolutely needs that experience. I think he spent a year out on loan a couple of years ago. But yeah, a good chance for him to go out on loan now and apply straight. McCarthy's been away to 6 Football League clubs whilst he was at Reading, so he's got a lot of experience. And he's not, he's not young. He's not old for a keeper either. So I think he's 27, 28 years old. So let's move on to the final name then. Saints have been linked with Spanish winger Christian Tello of Barcelona. He spent the last 2 years at Porto, and looks like his first team chances at Barca and perhaps even Porto are numbered. So what do we know of the rumour, and where would he fit into the squad, mate?
Well, the most recent and probably the most reliable report that I've seen was literally only a couple of hours ago by TalkSport. It says that we've lodged a 10 million bid for Teo, and apparently it said within the article that we would be willing to pay him the highest wages amongst the other potential suitors. The potential suitors could include the likes of Swansea. I think Tottenham were linked at some stage in Fiorentina. So they're not bad clubs there at all. And I think the 10 million fee is about right for him. I think he's not a youngster anymore. He's been out. He's got a lot of European experience out on loan. He's been about, and I think at Saints he would play a lot of games. I think as we were just saying, we need the squad depth. We need, for the 4 competitions, we need a lot of players. But I think Tello would be a brilliant addition because he's so versatile. He can play on either wing, he can play in the hole. And for Fiorentina last season on loan, I mean, I know he didn't score too many, but he did only have half a season there. He did play up front, so that could help us.
Okay, I was under the impression that he couldn't play striker, but that's a fantastic addition to him as well, because we currently, the way I see it, we're quite short in strikers. Obviously, Mane and Pella's left. We're now left with 3. J-Rod, Long, Austin, and we know J-Rod and Austin have both got injury problems. So it's a question now whether, obviously, if Tello comes in, he can act as a striker, but, the other question also asks J-Rod and Charlie Austin to stay fit. But there we have it, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you make of all the latest rumours coming in and out of St Mary's. Thanks, Luke, for joining me, and don't forget to check out his articles over on readsouthampton.com. Like, share, and subscribe for more.